Hello there, welcome back to my channel. This is Miss Stiff, and the purpose of this video is to give you the backstory to the track titled First, which was originally titled Get It First, until I had to change it for other reasons connected to the last recording before the release recording due to conflict, as previously mentioned in prior videos related to this album and my review of the producer who did this album. So, first is about, of course, myself, who is the participant, and I can also be an observer because I've seen this happen as well. And sometimes, not all the time, but it happens quite a bit. Females cross their sisters. And I'm talking about, when I'm saying sisters, I'm talking about their female friends or whomever. Females close to them, cousins, whatever. Oh, hell, even mother and daughter if you want to go there. Whew. To get a guy. But in this case, it ain't that deep. It's really about a chick being in the club. But by in no shape or form is the setting really based on me being in a club. But I will say, however, I have been out. Some of the lyrics is true. Like someone close to me, we was out one time at a bar, and she seen this guy that she had a crush on, and he was married with kids, but she had already had his friend. So the roles was a little flipped there. But I spun it a little bit to fit, in this case, a female who would not pursue her crush because she had heard that her friend got there first. So it wasn't that she didn't crush on him anymore. It wasn't worth it. And I'll explain to you why in a minute. Which is, as I talked about in the previous video, which was much lengthier, when I explained the all she do is cheat on you track, it actually moves through different perspectives, which I'll explain in another video, but how the cycle comes together. But I can tell you right now, I mentioned in He Won't that when we got to first, or get it first, because that's how I pronounced it in that video, was that the cycle would be complete. And so the album opens, even though it comes off as bitter, some guys can take it as, oh, she man bashing, but absolutely not. I'm talking about a type of man, I'm talking about a narcissist. So, as I also spoke about how I tried it, I engaged in unfair play. I engaged in unfair play, and it never worked out in my favor after. So I have been in the position to experience the grass was not greener. Even though I didn't abandon anybody to be in that lawn, in that grass or on that lawn, or in that yard rather. I however have engaged in unfair play that when I secured the person didn't respect me for it. That being one of the reasons. And just, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't know what I was doing. I wasn't schooled. You know, I didn't understand also back then that don't ever tell nobody that you're gonna do you. and don't do you and still do them. Because they'll believe, especially if they got that bone in the body and they already been that way. You might not know about it, but they get down that way. So, and like I said, once you already showed them that you will crush somebody, even if they not with that person no more, they don't give a fuck about you. And that's where it first came in at, because when it rocked back and forth between perspectives and it got to the end, and that karmic lesson rolled back around, and myself, or the character in this case, because other females can relate too, when they finally had the opportunity or the free will to make a different choice after all the ish that she had gone through, she said, nah. Even though when I talked about in the previous video, the person was not at all like in my circle. But that's not the point. The point is, no matter how close it is, the lesson was learned that crushing another did not yield any favorable results for me or the character. So having the free will to make a different decision under this, in the case of similar circumstances, didn't do it. And I was satisfied, or the character was satisfied in knowing that what it could have been. Who the hell knows? But I'm not about to, in this lifetime, given the way things played out, or this friend of mine got there first. In no way, shape, or form was I about to find out, knowing that I already knew you could get the business. Right? Or I'm saying you could get business, or the guy that I'm referring to as me being the character, the female voice in this song, that my crush could still get the business. But in no way, shape, or form was I about to find out, or the character was about to find out, because it would take me back through a cycle that had already been charted, that I had already gone through. I had already learned that you do it, they'll never respect you. I had to go through years with it, because it was nothing that could be done to prove that I was trustworthy. So you see, once somebody see you cross somebody, they don't think you shit. They don't think you worthy of trust. That person was wrong in the end about me, but I don't know anything fully about their experience as to why they saw that and they took that and me as a red flag. But that's a whole nother other. All I know is the cycle was complete. But when I get into the next video, I'll talk more about characters and different little whatevers that brought that circle complete. So I hope you found this video useful to the backstory of the track titled First, formerly Get It First, and realize that the ending is actually the beginning to the album, and that is what set in motion the problem. And when after all that moving through, all those changes, all those perspectives, you get to the end and you're presented with that same opportunity again. See, the thing is, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's a different stage, different characters, or some slightly different twist. The bottom line is, if you have an opportunity to taste forbidden fruit, despite having already experienced negative consequences from a previous situation that was somewhat similar, you have not learned the lesson. And you're going to have to go through it again. And, there's beliefs in the same thing as far as like reincarnation and some other ideas. But we all are living now and we see karma play out in our lives. So I hope someone found this video useful. I am in no way, shape, or form in trying to project my ideas onto anyone else. I'm only simply speaking from experience. And when artists create or story tell, we try to capture, um, generally the most relatable parts and ideas that the average could probably relate to. And because I could definitely say it ain't all me. Some of this stuff was bent to fit some other people's similar situations. So if you like this, go back, give it a listen. Otherwise, if you got time and you down for riding on this journey with me, like, share, subscribe, or comment. To be continued.